everyone. I was reflecting on the fact that I haven't properly introduced myself or my project yet, and that in turn pushed me to make this video. I think there are currently a handful of people who are familiar with who I am and or what my project is about, but only a couple of people really understand it from my perspective. So, I'm here to change that today. First things first, hello. My name is Catalina, or Kata, or Kat. Whatever of those you feel like calling me, I will answer to. I'm currently 22 years old. I work as a freelance plush maker. I have recently graduated from university, and when I grow up, I want to be an indie game developer. I've always been an artist, but that's taken various forms over the course of my life. I started sewing and actually earning money from it when I was at the tender age of 14 years old. And for a while, I wondered if I would do it for the rest of my life. In the past few years, my sewing has taken off to the point that I could very well do it to earn a living wage where I live, which would be the extremely expensive Bay Area. But as time went on, the more I realized it wasn't making me happy. Making my own game has been something in the back of my mind that came up a couple of times in my life. I was always intrigued by Game Maker, first when I was a child, and then again in high school. When I was in the beginning to middle of my college career, something pushed me again, and I decided that I wanted to finally commit to making a game. That game was not the dream of Shadowlands. Originally, I wanted to make a platformer, more specifically a Metroidvania probably, but I never got far enough in development to tell you for sure. This was at the end of 2018, and I was working seriously on a game for the first time in my life, learning how coding and creating game assets worked. Then, a mere few months or so after setting my mind to this project, I had a dream. I only remember part of it at this point, but it involved being chased by a creature referred to as an imp, being pulled through a portal by someone else, and finding myself and the other person falling through the sky towards an island. This idea then formed with a dream I had before, where a new Studio Ghibli movie came out that was similar to Castle in the Sky, and the poster was the male lead character holding up the female lead to a windy, stormy sky in the middle of a rocky gorge. I couldn't get these dreams out of my head, and by January 2019, I threw my first game idea right out the window and went all into the dream of Shadowlands. I took the dreams I had and formed it into a general plot. A girl gets cursed and sent to a creepy, incoherent parallel world and works together with a boy to find her way home. Whereas the other game I wanted to make was a platformer, I decided I wanted to try my hand at a top-down horror RPG instead. Now, I had a little bit of practice with the first idea, sure, but now I was faced with the dilemma of wanting to make a game with an eye-catching fake anime style. I was severely out of practice with drawing, so it became an uphill battle of not only choosing the right style, but also perfecting it. Slowly, as I kept practicing and making concept art, my two characters, Rena and Jill, were formed, and have largely looked the same ever since. So by this point, I had the beginnings of my story written out, I had my main characters, and I had decided on what kind of game I was going to make. I got straight to work. I mean, how hard could it possibly be to teach myself how to make a video game? Well, I would soon learn. Basically, from February of 2019 to when episode 1 of The Dream of Shadowlands released in late December of 2020, it has been a constant struggle of back and forth emotions. On one hand, I was learning to do things I'd never done before, and it was exciting to constantly learn what I could do to push my own limits. I was creating something that other people could play and were starting to see potential in, and I had never put so much effort into any one thing in my life prior to this. But, on the other hand, I was regularly reminded of how much of an amateur I was at everything required for making a game. There have been several points where I poured hours into working on something and felt very proud of it at first. Then, as weeks or months would go on, I would feel nothing but shame for the very same thing, feeling like it was holding my game back. I remember multiple times where I've broken down crying because I felt like I was never going to get to the point I wanted to. I know it sounds dramatic, but I'm a very emotional person, and this has been an integral part of my life since beginning my game dev journey. Whenever something upset me though, I would take the time to think about why, and what I could do to overcome it. So many aspects of the game, from the art to the script to the code and the music, have gone through multiple redos. But for all the extra work that it took, everything that I remade created a brand new sense of confidence that drove me forward. So, yes, throwing myself face first into game development has been emotionally taxing, but it has also been the most rewarding thing I've done yet. I know I still have a long way to go and a lot to learn, but it has been so surreal not only having people recognize something original that I invented, but also them seeing the potential in it. If I had to describe what the dream of Shadowlands means to me, I would simply state growth. I feel like I've done a lot of growing during the development of this project, and a lot of that growing was because I even bothered to start something so ambitious. I'm definitely not done though. I have at least 4 more episodes to create in this series, and hope to make each one even better than the last. I'm still not where I want to be in terms of how many people see what I'm making, or how profound anything I do is. However, this game has been extremely important to me. Many times it truly felt like my baby because I've never had an actual baby before. I think that in order to truly give my project the respect I feel it deserves, I need to continue to learn and work as hard as I possibly can to bring it fully to fruition. Whether you're someone who's been here since I announced the dream of Shadowlands in the beginning of 2019 on Instagram, or someone who heard of it down the line when I was further along, thank you. Every small bit of support I've gotten so far means more to me than I can accurately express. Each kind comment or person who chooses to follow me makes me feel like I'm one step closer to achieving my dream of making a game that many people can enjoy. I truly hope that following my journey has been exciting for you as well, because I want to make it perfectly clear that I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing, and I'm honestly surprised that anything I throw at the wall has been working. If you're new and you'd like to support my game development, please subscribe to this channel or follow any of my social media links. I also have a Patreon where I post my content early and post early builds of the game whenever I update the project file. The next episode coming up for the Dream of Shadowlands is episode 2. So if you'd like to stay up to date on that, you can either wishlist it on Steam or check it out on itch.io. Both of the links will be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will return to regularly scheduled devlogs in the next video. See you all then.